Well, what can I say? I lost my voice yesterday, and what a triple D that was, and not in any good way. That was a diabolical, disgraceful display from West Ham, especially in the second half. There's no defending it. There's no defending anything. Listen, let me set you up the day. I had a nice morning here. I made a quick video before I went, got on the train, looking forward to the game, looking forward to hopefully Potter building on from what we had against Nottingham Forest, certainly the last sort of 20 minutes. I thought he'd start with the same game, same formation, same players, right? I thought that's where he'd go. I went to Bow, had a bit of pie and mash at Caddy's, lovely jubbly, lovely girls in there, always a warm welcome, so very, very nice there. Went to the pub, great atmosphere there. Met up with a few people who said hello. It was fantastic to meet, people. Brilliant. Went to get my last drink. Then they announced the team, and guess what? James Ward-Prowse, Souček were in the starting lineup, and I was just like, have we learnt nothing? Have we learnt nothing here? So I go to the game, tried to do a live link with another channel, and just couldn't get a good signal. So it was all setting up for a crappy start. And actually, I was surprised. As the game got going, I was surprised that, we were putting on a decent display for the first 15, 20 minutes. I thought we were, we were with them. We had a couple of chances. They had a couple of chances. But I thought we were having the better of it. And that kind of energised the crowd as well. We were up for it as well. We were trying to urge the team on, trying to urge the players on. Juve and Somerville were having a great game, I thought, on the left-hand side. Kyle Walker-Peters was having a great game, on the right side as well. But, they were trying. They were getting stuck in. It was good. It was good stuff. It wasn't all our own way, but it was good. And I tell you what, the crowd was buzzing for 15, where I was, and it seemed to be reverberating around the stadium. It was buzzing. I tell you what, you couldn't hear the Spurs fans. You couldn't hear them, right? Where I was from, you couldn't hear them. They were silent. And then they started to get more and more into the game. And we were defending resolutely, and and sometimes a bit desperately at times. But then they had that disallowed goal, which, I think we can all agree is, it probably should have been a goal. We got away with that. I haven't seen the replay. I'm just going on what At the time, I was saying to the lads around me, I said, what was that disallowed for? Because we're right at the other end, you see, so I can't see it clearly. Got into half time, and I was feeling positive. I was feeling positive the second half because I thought, okay, look, against Forest, we were that kind of team in the first half as well, held our own. But we came out second half and we kind of got better and better in the second half. And then we bossed it the last 20 minutes with the substitutions. But I thought our setup in this game was wrong anyway. We didn't have a striker to start in the game. We had Paqueta too far forward. We had two slow coaches in midfield who don't do anything. So our setup was all wrong. So second half starts to get a corner, and they knew just to put pressure on our keeper. Put pressure and see how he acts, because he doesn't command a 6-yard box. He hasn't got the size there, and he's getting bullied in there, and he doesn't come for crosses, and he's rubbish. They put a cross in just over the 6-yard box, goes to the back post, easy header, and the keeper's nowhere. And we're all 6s and 7s defensively. You know what happens next? Souček goes in for a rash challenge after miscontrolling the ball. It's an easy red card. It's an easy red card right in front of the referee. Easy red card. So we just lose it after that. So at that point, a couple of players, like James Ward-Prowse, I think Kilman goes over, and I think somebody else goes over to the touchline, right? You thought, okay, what is Potter going to do here? What is he going to do? We're 1-0 down. Now we're a man down. What is he going to do? He does fuck all. Really, he tweaks things a little bit to make us more defensive, but there's nothing to take the game to them. We're losing now. So there's nothing to say, right, organised shape, right, let's bring on a striker straight away now. Nothing. And then as the game goes on, you're looking at the bench and you're looking at the touchline, looking at Potter, and he just stood there. There's no energy from him to get the players going. Then you're looking at the players themselves, and there's no energy within the players to say, look, come on, we've got to do it ourselves. This is why my voice is like this, I was screaming bloody murder at the players to say, where are the fucking generals? Where are the fucking leaders here? Come on, you should be grabbing each other's throats. You should be thinking, come on, let's take it. Let's, I made a previous video. I said, we've got to fight. We've got to fight for every ball, every, tackle, every attack, every defence. We've got to fight all the way along, especially against Spurs. And if you can't do it against Spurs, forget it. So we get another goal against us. Yeah, well-worked goal, easy goal for them. Looped over the keeper. Again, easy to criticise the keeper, but what is he doing? Where's he all? He's all over the place. And then the third goal, just smash it home. They could have had 4, 5, 6, 7 easily, but they were tippy-toeing it, passing it around amongst themselves, easy for them. And we had no response. We were 2 goals down, and we let the third one go in, and then we had nothing. Nothing from the touchline, nothing from Potter to, give them a bit of kick up the arse and say, come on. Nothing from the players. The crowd are pretty much gone, right? There's probably about easily 2/3, maybe more, 3/4 that have gone, have left by the third goal now, or just after the third goal. In those first 20 minutes of the first half, you had us. We were with you. But then, after the whole of the first half, we were with you. People weren't leaving early. They're thinking, yeah, okay, we got something to support here. But second half, honestly, it was just a total collapse, a total, it was almost like raising the white flag. It was that. It was raising the white flag to anybody, this signals to any opposition to come to the London Stadium, to come to West Ham and say, we can easily beat them. We can easily put them under pressure and they will fold. They've got nothing in them. They've got no leaders. They've got no strength. They've got no backbone. They've got no shape. They've got no plan. Their keepers all over the place, defensive all over the place. Just get dead balls into the penalty area around the 6-yard box. Put them under pressure, they'll fold. As soon as that first goal goes in, that's it. And I've said this repeatedly time and time again. But we have no plan to react to this. Every team concedes a goal every now and again. Of course they do. Some more than others. Us being that team right now. Every team, reacts to different... every team has things go against them in a game. But it's how they react, how the manager reacts. What's their plan B, plan C, plan D? How do the players react at that time? Nobody goes without criticism here. Nobody. Not the fans, not the players, not the coaching staff, not the manager, certainly not the board and everything goes on there. But the fans can't be criticised. It's not a fan's fault because we're giving you the support as much as we can. But if you don't deliver this on the pitch, it got so bad that I was that close from walking out myself, and I never do because I'm always one of those stubborn bastards who'll say right to the very end, and I was screaming, and I was just stood there. The people around me, who around me, must have thought I was a bloody madman. I was calling them every name under the sun. Look, this is why this voice has happened, right? I called them every name under the sun. I was trying to get them energised, to get them going. In the first half, I thought they showed a bit of that. Juve came down to our corner flag, and he was like, yeah, come on. And I was like, fantastic. That's exactly the attitude that I want from our players, to turn to us and say, come on, we got this. We're going to go for it. Brilliant, I thought. Brilliant. Third goal, has the third goal. He makes the substitutions. He's taken off players that could be our creative spark, that had a decent game. He puts on players that, Guillaume comes on and Magassa comes on, of course. But, start with Magassa. in the first place. Start with Wilson in the first place. Then you won't have to bring him on. I cannot understand how you can not start a game with a recognised forward against any team, but certainly against Spurs, let's say, in this regard. You're at home. You want to take it to them, right? You're putting players out of position, so you're expecting Paqueta to play, right up there, and that he's getting no service anyway, and it's not his game anyway to play that there. He's not got no speed to be up there. He's sitting right in the central midfield, dictating things, creating things. That's what he wants. He should be spreading out left to Somerville, right to Bowen. That's what he should be doing. They should be putting in crosses to a waiting striker. And then that waiting striker is ably supported by Paqueta rushing in behind. Yes, I can see that. But you don't even start with a striker. You don't even start with Wilson. Okay, let's just say that you don't think Wilson's going to last 60 minutes. You still start with him. If he's good enough to be on the bench, he's good enough to play. Okay, so then you don't think that you should be playing Wilson straight away. Okay, all right. Well, put on another striker. Put on one of the the younger lads. Put them on. It's a body up there. But don't lose your shape. Don't put players in wrong positions. Square pegs, round holes again. Just to kind of bolster up and make it more of a defensive makeup. It's crap. It's a crap tactic. Crap substitutions, badly timed substitutions, and then you're coming out afterwards and saying, oh yeah, we only made a mistake, one mistake here and there. Christ almighty, are you blind? You're impotent to be a manager, to make decent decisions. You're impotent. You're flaccid. You got nothing going for you. And the players respond. It's just like a dog reflects the owner, right? Starts looking like the owner, or the owner starts looking like the dog, whichever way it is. But it reflects the owner, right? It acts the way the owner has treated it and trained it, right? And our manager has trained these players to be docile, to give up, to have no fight in them, to crumble when the first goal comes in, to be poorly defensive. But it's not only about the players themselves, it's also about the manager who buys players or gets the club to buy players that we didn't need, totally alienate players, and then it leaves us widely exposed. You got a keeper who's truly, truly awful. He can save a shot every now and again. He's had a couple of good games in terms of shot stopping, but that's not what makes a keeper. The overall game and controlling your box and coming for crosses, and getting up there and having been a presence up there and organising your defence, a big voice in there. He hasn't got that. So that leads to a lack of confidence, uncertainty in defence. That's why we're all over the place. I don't necessarily blame our defensive lineup. Juve, I thought, had a decent game. I thought, Kilman Mavropanos had an all right game. They were making mistakes, but I think on the basis of the first half, I thought there was lots of headers away. There was misplaced headers, but there were lots of headers away. They were getting their bodies on the line. They were doing the best they could. But second half, it all went to pot. So that's down to Potter buying a goalkeeper that we didn't need, paying too much for a keeper we didn't need, and him sticking religiously to a game plan that is just not working, and selecting players to try and reinforce that, to polish a turd in many ways, to make good of a bad situation. And you're trying to make good of a bad situation with players that just can't do it. It was terrible. And I was emotional after the game. I was really angry after the game. I was spitting feathers after the game, I got to say. I went onto one of the other channels. They asked me to go on. I wanted to go on. I wanted to jump on. I wanted to vent, And it was just a disgrace of a performance. And what really infuriated me more is not that we lost. which obviously is bad in itself, right? It's not that Souček got sent off. I can see that happening to any player, right? So I think it's bad, but I can see it happening. It's not that we went 1-0 down and our defence was all over the place and the keeper, that's bad enough. But what really griped me, what really angered me, and I'm not a person, I'm not a Mr. Angry, right? I'm just a Mr. Moany, probably, but I'm not Mr. Angry. But what really got me angry was that the players seemed to, I'm not sure if they did, I can't say for sure, because I can't see inside their minds, but they seemed to down tools. They seemed to just give up completely. And 2-0 down and 3-0 down, and there was nothing there. There was no fight. There was no desire for them to close down Tottenham when they had performance. There was nothing, even the subs coming on, there was nothing there, no energy, nothing in themselves, no direction from the manager either to get at them, to try and claw something back. You got 20 minutes in a game. You got 20 minutes, 25 minutes in a game, 30 minutes in a game, let's say. In fact, you've got the whole second half to try and get back. After they took the lead with that, stupid corner, stupid header and defensive mishap and goalkeeping fuck up, right? You had the whole game to go for it, and you didn't. Even at that stage, you weren't really going for it. Yes, Bowen had a shot a couple of times afterwards, but weren't really pressurising. Weren't putting them under pressure. Weren't, going in for tackles. Second, obviously we're at a disadvantage with the one man down. But how many times have we seen 10 men against 11 give a really good account of themselves? How many times in history have we seen it? Time and time again. We were nowhere near giving that any kind of account of ourselves. Second goal goes in. That's it. You could just see it draining away. You could just see it's almost like somebody's pulled the plug out the bath, and that's it. It's all just draining away. You could see it. It's just the water's just going through transparent pipes, and you can see it. Oh, bye, see ya. There's the hope. There's the hope, just floating away. There we go. And that's the energy is sapping because the crowd is responding to that. All of the fan base is responding to this as well, and you could see it in the players that they're just. And you think, I would never slate our fan base. I would never, because why would I? Because, and I would say it's for all fans. Whatever club you support, right? You're always going to be as passionate, as loyal and everything as you can. But you come to a point, any fan, where you're just like, what is this? What is this? I've said it repeatedly. I'm no surprise, but there's no fight from them, the players, to give us anything, to make us want to stay there, and fight. And I think there are lots of things to break down here. Okay, so, I just think it was a diabolically disgraceful display, Triple D, second half. And we completely lost, how Potter is still in charge here, how the ownership can see this and want to stick with him, how any fans can say want to stick with him. And I get it. The argument is, well, who do you get? And any manager coming in, you're going to have to deal with that board, right? But you need something that the ownership right now needs to take action. And they need to find a manager who can deal with these kind of players and at least try and get us playing on the front foot and try and put us in any kind of formation with any players that are available to get us, keep our shape. Even if we're not getting the best players, let's say Fulkrug's injured, right, and Wilson. How is it you start a season with only 2 recognised strikers, really, and then the rest are just kids? How is it? And they're both injury prone. How is that? That is not good planning. In fact, it's diabolical planning. So then you get into a game, you think, right, I haven't got players really available. Guess what? Put in the kids then. Put in the kids. If that's what it takes, put in the kids. But you're really supporting the kids with their players in their best positions all over the park. So the pressure's not on that kid. All you say to the kid is up front, I don't know, whoever it is, Marshall, whoever it is up front, right? You say to them, right, you just stay there, stay on the last defender. We're going to get the ball. As soon as the ball goes out to Bowen, you make a run. It's simple instructions, right? Yeah, run between the lines. That's it. Ball comes through to you. Now either take a quick shot, give them something to think about, or don't worry, Paqueta's going to be coming up right behind you. You just have to square it to him, and then we'll have a chance that way. I'm sorry, is it me, or is this hard to figure out? Is it me? I don't know. You tell me. Tell me if I'm way off base here, but it seems to me that we're just Potter is not playing our players, which I think can be good on their day, and especially the likes of Paqueta, our creative players, in their best position. I'm really disappointed that that Potter is staying with a midfield partnership of Souček and James Ward-Prowse, who just do not have any legs. Do not have any legs. Now Souček's going to be, suspended for a few games, but they shouldn't have even been starting. Fernandez and Magassa, give them a go. They're young, they're useful, they want to impress. Give them a go. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Why not start the game with the same lineup as you finish Forest? The same setup. Okay, if it doesn't work out, fine. We can see that as fans. But you're making early substitutions. Why didn't you try and capitalise on the win that you'd already had? Why didn't you try and capitalise on the first half and then bring on Callum Wilson for the second half? Why didn't you do that? Wait and say, hold on, let's just change it up, half time. Let's react to this. Let's just try and build on what we've got. We got away with a lucky disallowed goal there. Let's start on the front foot. Let's give it to them second half. None of this. This is not a quality issue here. This is a mindset. This is a mindset. And the mindset is that close ranks. Don't do too much. Don't put your head above the parapet. Don't voice an opinion just in case somebody shouts you down. Well, fuck's sake, you've got to do something. You've got to say something. You've got to go forward and show that you've got something about you, regardless of what happens. And guess what? West Ham fans, all fans of any club, respond to that. If they could see at half-time that you'd made a substitution, you put Callum Wilson on, we'd be like, all right. If they'd seen at half-time you'd taken off Souček, you'd taken off James Ward-Prowse, and you put Magassa in there as well. Guillaume, whomever, whatever it is, right? You changed it up. You brought Paqueta back in there. People, fans would be like, all right, okay, game on. Let's see what we can do. We've held it conservative the first half and then the second half. Now, I've said this before, if that's going to be a game plan, a tactic, I'm not going to argue with that. If you want to put James Ward-Prowse and Souček in there just to shore up the first half and then do the old switcheroo at half time and then come out all guns blazing, I'll be like, okay, all right. It's a dangerous tactic, but I get it. And I'm not saying you should do that for every single game, but I think, okay, every now and again that might work. But you're not doing that. That's not your mindset. That you just don't have that within you to do it. I've got to say, quite honestly, I'm even debating whether to go to the Palace game. I'm so angry about it. They kind of, I love my boxing as well. I didn't even watch the boxing last night. Didn't even watch the boxing. I know the results. Got those picks completely wrong as well. Crocker won. Crawford won. I'm yet to watch them, so I'm going to go and watch them in a minute. But bloody hell. What a disgrace. Disgrace. And I feel for the players as well, although I'm not letting them get away with any of this responsibility. They have the responsibility to perform and take it upon themselves. But I feel for the players because they're struggling beneath a manager who has no fucking idea. And they're struggling between an ownership who's just completely ruined this club. And the fan base are just walking away. Are just walking away from it. I've said this time and time again. Shoot me down. Say what you like. This is what I truly believe, honestly believe. That we're going to get relegated. And it might not be a bad thing. it might not be a bad thing. That it will force change in the club. It forced change in the fan base. It forced change the way we play football, the kind of football that we're playing, what we're enjoying, what we want to watch. The fight could bring us the fight back. But, even if they, those fans who would say, well, who are you going to get in? You're absolutely right. The damage is almost done here. It's already done. And I've said this before. They wasted 2 weeks now. You lost the opportunity to get rid of him because we won at Nottingham Forest in the international break. So you basically lost 2 weeks there where you could have got another manager in and said, right, okay, let's see what we can do. Terrible. Absolutely rubbish position to be in. So how many more games are they going to give him? How many more games are they going to give Potter? He's got to be under so much pressure. And the way he kind of describes and justifies the performance and justifies the tactics and the thinking, and, it's almost like you're blind, you're deluded to it. I sometimes feel as I'm getting older, I have this, I feel I've got this condition. It's called face blindness, where I'm not sort of recognising people as much as I used to, right? I haven't got it. It's called prosopagnosia or something. This condition, but I haven't got it. But I get the feeling that I'm not recognising situations, or I'm not recognising people, right, as well as I used to. This is, and I feel that's what Potter's got. He's got this prosopagnosia on the touchline. He's just not recognising anything. He's not seeing anything. He's not seeing who he's got, what players he's got, and that he can't see where they should be and where they shouldn't be. I think he's looking at bodies and go, yeah, that'll do, put him there. Yeah, that'll do, put him there. And then when other managers are reacting in a game, as this has always been my argument, you should have in-game tactical changes and tactical reactions and tactical awareness, and pre-game tactical awareness and actions and pre-actions, so you know who you're going up against. Well, Thomas Frank, another case, another example, another case in point, is that he can see things and he's making tactical changes. He can see what's going on in the first half. He comes out, he says, right, just get dead balls, just get corners, pepper the 6-yard box. You put them under pressure, a goal's coming. Yeah, make my substitutions here and there. Yeah, just keep on doing what you're doing. Do it this way, a little bit there, tweak this, tweak that, do that, go out them, smash them. Guess what? They did. And guess what? Listen, Spurs fans, of course, they're giving it large. They're giving it large, afterwards, during the game, after the second half, and because West Ham fan base is decimated. We're destroyed by this crap. Destroyed by this attitude, by this absolute crap, by this absolute. It's a botrytis from the very core. It's a disease from the very core, all the way up, and all the way back down again. But the only way we can change things on the pitch is having a brand new direction, new thinking there. And Brady needs to be held accountable by Sullivan. He needs to grow a pair and do something with Brady. Get rid of her. If you're going to stay in the club, right, because these protests, let's just say these protests don't do anything, this petition don't do anything, and you're not going to sell up, I'll tell you one thing you should do, get rid of Brady. Because Potter is Brady's man. Sullivan had his doubts about him, and he should have been stronger to say, no, we're getting somebody else in. And maybe we'll see that, I don't know. I mean, ideally, we want them all out, right? We want them to sell up, we want whatever, or just, get rid of those who are making the decisions, put somebody in there who can. But fundamentally, you need a brand new manager now. It's no point in changing everything behind, but the manager stays there, because we're still going to have crap performances, crap displays, and fans that are just going to be leaving and just be totally disillusioned with it. You got another situation where, obviously, the Crystal Palace game, the protest beforehand. Great, fantastic. Go and support that. If you're there, go and support it. And if I'm not there, I'm not there, because that'll be my protest. But if I do go to the game, I'll be standing there and protesting. Sign the petition, do all that. Keep this bad PR going. But regardless of what that is all about, on the pitch, we need to see something different. The players need to respond. The manager needs to respond. But we need a different manager in there and a different coaching staff who are going to take us in a different direction. And we need to be more positive. And we need to get the players in there that are going to try their best. There needs to be a change of attitude, a change of whatever it is. But I'll leave you with this. And this is probably not, maybe other people have talked about it, right? The protest is going to be for the Crystal Palace game, and then for the Brentford game. Many fans are saying we're going to boycott it, right? Boycott it, and I'm like, yeah, boycott it or don't, whatever, whatever the situation is. This is one thing that all West Ham fans should not do, because I don't see how the club can do this. The club are offering families to be able to take their kids for £1. So you can take your kids for £1. Well, how are you going to do that if people aren't giving up their seats for the game? You can't just give kids a seat for £1 if there are no seats available. So whatever you do as a West Ham fan, do not put your ticket on Ticket Exchange. If you're not going to go in, if you're boycotting out of principle, do not put your ticket on Ticket Exchange. Do not do it. Because guess what? The club aren't going to give you anything anyway. Right? Because especially if they want to give the kids £1. So therefore, if the bulk of the seats should still be empty. Now, I don't know whether the boycotting of a game would do anything. I don't know if the protests are going to do anything. But it's a bad look, isn't it? It's putting pressure on the board. It's putting pressure on the club. It's bringing negative attention to the club. That's what we should do. That's what should be done. Peaceful protests. It should be, well thought out protests. It should be well thought out boycotts. But if you kind of want to sell your tickets back to the club, then you kind of letting the club get away with it, because they're going to put kids, or try and put kids in there. And of course, families are going to go, oh, wow, this is amazing. Take my kids to the game for £1. Brilliant. But if there are no seats available, guess what? There are no seats available. So you can't take your kids to the ground. I'm not going to go, let's say, or if I boycott the actual game, then I'm not going to give my seat up. So they can't put somebody in my seat. And if they did, guess what? It should be held to pay, right? That's fraud. That's club fraud if they're doing that. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, doesn't it? Look, obviously you can tell I'm really pissed off. Obviously you can tell that I'm sure you should be pissed off. Everybody should be pissed off with that. But from top to bottom, every decision that Potter's making, the starting lineup, the players that we have, the positions he's putting them in, the way we're going in, the attitude to go up against Spurs or any team coming to the London Stadium, and you're not putting up a fight, you're not getting in there, stuck in there. It's like you're giving up before we've even started. You're set up to fail. And I, for one, am not going to stand for any team of mine, any players of mine, any club of mine, any club. I've only got one club, you know what I mean? But that is going to set up to fail. That does not want to go for it. And I've always said this, look, if we get spanked 4 or 5-0, but we've given it a good go, I tell you what, you go out and you shield, it's just like boxing, right? I love boxing. But I tell you what, you go out, you go for it. You're in there you should be in there for a fight. Not for a Sunday walk around the park. You should be in there for a fight, fighting for everything. And we haven't got that right now. And we haven't had that all season. So, in face it, we didn't really have it all last season. In fact, quite a few years we haven't had this really, especially in the league. Yeah, we had a couple of good seasons. Yeah. But that's it. Since moving to the London Stadium, it's been absolute rubbish, shocking. Overall, the atmosphere is rubbish. It's diluted, it's changed. Everything about it has changed. Do you know what? I was thinking this before the game. And I'm sorry if I'm harping on here, and hopefully you can bear with me. But I was thinking this before the game. I was in the pub. And I was thinking to myself, I'm having a good time here. I'm enjoying myself. I've had a nice day up until this point. I've enjoyed my, going to Kelly's, having some food, getting a nice warm welcome. See you later, sweetheart. See you later. Very nice. Walking through the streets. Loved it. Taking a nice long walk to a couple of the pubs. Ended up in Carpenter's. Great atmosphere. I was enjoying it. I was speaking to people. It was great. Loved it. And then I go to the ground and I'm just like, what's going to happen today? So I'm just wondering, what is it? I'm just going through the pre-match experience. Is there a case here to say, just go to the pub, watch the game from the pub? Do you know what I mean? Let us know your thoughts, but I'll come back to you with more thoughts, I'm sure. But I'm just Triple D, mate. Diabolically disgraceful display. Catch you again. Bye now.